Hi everyone and welcome to Fresh from My Garden. Today I'm here on my terrace garden and I'm sharing another beautiful plant from our terrace garden, and these are the mini roses that are the trailing variety, and they are supported onto a little net that we have at the wall of our terrace, and they are growing really beautifully with a lot of flowers. Roses are a beautiful variety of flowers that come in a lot of different colors, and we have a few of the bush varieties in our garden. And this is the trailing variety that is growing in a 25-liter container on our terrace garden. So, we had been looking for a trailing variety of rose for our garden, and we recently purchased this from the nursery. And we didn't know what color it would be. But once it started to bloom, we saw these beautiful red roses that grow in bunches, and they bloom quite a lot during the summertime. Roses are plants that prefer a lot of direct sunlight, and since this is on our terrace, it gets a lot of direct sunlight, and that helps these plants bloom regularly. Another important tip for rose plants to bloom regularly is to pinch off the spent blooms to encourage lots of new blooms. So, small pruning as the blooms get spent and dry and fall apart, we can just pinch off those buds so that they don't go to seed, and that will encourage a lot of new blooms regularly on these plants. We are yet to train this plant in a proper direction, and as you can see, they have gone in all directions and are climbing onto the net that we have provided towards the end of our terrace garden. So, if these plants are supported onto a proper structure or a trellis, then these will grow looking a little more thick and bushy with lot of flowers, and they would look really if the arrangement is done well. So, we have a few rearrangements to do on our terrace garden, and once we do that, we will have an opportunity to arrange them properly so that these beautiful roses are more visible and we can really enjoy them. Adding some rose mix to the soil and incorporating them into the soil by tilling the soil and loosening the soil a little bit will also help a lot of flowers bloom on a regular basis. And since roses usually bloom almost throughout the summer season, they need to be fertilized at least once in 2 or 3 weeks so that they can bloom regularly. I have another video on my channel about few trailing flowering plants from our garden, and this is another new addition to our garden which has already started flowering. We also have a few plants that we purchased in the last few months and we are still waiting for them to bloom. So once they start blooming, I'll share updates about those plants as well in future videos. If you like flowering climbers, then this is one of the best plants that you can grow in your garden. Just be a little careful while pruning because there are a lot of thorns and it's easy to get scratched from this plant. But apart from that, these tiny roses look so beautiful when they grow in bunches against the dark green foliage, and they would look even more amazing if they are properly trained onto a strong support system or a trellis. I hope you liked today's video. Thanks for watching Fresh from My Garden.